Hey, what's up everybody? It's Amaya. So today's video is going to be all about my favorite glittery drugstore products. I know sometimes it can be difficult to find glittery products at the drugstore. It seems that a lot of them are either online products or high-end. It's a little bit difficult, but don't worry, I have some beautiful, affordable, delicious glitteriness here for you. I am so excited. I have glitter liners, loose glitters, glitter eyeshadows, a palette, pressed eyeshadows, and some primers to share with you guys, so I am super duper excited. I actually just finished filming this, so I do have all of them swatched on my hand right now. I had to do my intro afterwards because I messed it up the first time, so we're just gonna do it again. So before we get into talking all about these glittery favorites, if you have not already, be sure to check out my Instagram and Twitter. They are right over here. All my other social medias will be in the description box below if you want to check them out. No judgment if you don't. Just saying. I'll leave it there. Not judging. Check it out. And yeah, without further ado, let's hop right into the glitter because I'm so excited. So one of the things that I find really makes or breaks a glittery look is your glitter glue. So I have two right here that I always rely on, that never fail me, and that I absolutely love. The first one is the cheapest glitter primer you will probably find out there and one of the best. This is the e.l.f. Glitter Primer. So this has been around forever. I feel like it's only $2 or $3. It is amazing and so cheap. It really has a nice consistency. When you squeeze it out, it just kind of looks like a lotion or like a cream almost. And then as you start to rub it in, obviously it gets tacky as it dries. It's what I'm wearing on my lids today. This I used for years before I discovered the other favorite that I have, and it never failed me. I feel like my glitter really does stick on my eyelids when I'm using this. I don't feel like I get a ton of fallout. I don't feel like it's difficult to work with. It has a nice amount of drying time, so that way you're not stuck with patting it on your eyelid and then having to go in right away. You do have a little bit of workable time where you can, you know, get your eyeshadow out, pat it on. If you make a mistake, it's not going to be stuck down there, if you know what I mean. One of these will last you for a very, very long time. And like I said, it's super duper cheap. So highly recommend checking this one out. And the second one that I have is also very cheap, but not quite as cheap as this guy. It is the NYX Glitter Primer. I absolutely love this guy as well. This one comes out more like an eyeshadow primer. Like this, it has kind of like a nude beigey tone to it, but it's the same type of thing. It almost feels like a lotion. This one I find dries a little bit faster than the e.l.f. Glitter Primer does. I find that it's a little bit smoother and a little bit thicker. This guy right here is almost like a clear glue. It's very, not thin, but it's not thick in any way. This one I do feel like is a little bit thicker, more like an eyeshadow primer consistency, and I do feel like it's a tad bit stickier than the e.l.f. one, but honestly, you could give me either of these and say I can only use it for the rest of my life and I would be completely happy. I find that they're interchangeable. Some people might have a preference. Go with the e.l.f. one first, I would say, because it is cheaper, and then if you don't really like it, or maybe you just want to try out the next one, also a very good choice. Okay, so when it comes to pressed glittery shadows, if you want a shadow that has a nice metallic to it, it has a nice pigment, but it also has some glitteriness in there, I would highly recommend Colourpop shadows. Their Super Shock shadows in 3 of their formulas are excellent for glitters. So the 3 formulas are their metallic formula, their ultra glitter formula, and their glitter sheers. So each of these have a little bit of a different finish. They are all super glittery though, so I'll kind of explain them. That way you guys can see like what kind of finish you might want. So the least glittery out of all of them, I would say, are the metallic shadows. The metallic ones are definitely a metallic shadow with some chunky glitter in it. I have Decay right here. I also have Millionaire, and then the last one I have is Tassel. So these are just 3 that I pulled out of my drawer that I feel like are especially glittery. Millionaire is a nice like brown with some like pink gold glitters in there. Decay is a really cool color. It's like a red with some green glitters. And then Tassel is a pure white with some silvery glitters. So I'll just swatch these for you guys so you can see. I will also insert close-ups as well. That is what they look like. So if you want something that's nice and metallic, but not too chunky, glittery, crazy, I highly recommend starting with these because you're going to get that nice glittery pop without being too overwhelming and too over the top. And some of them definitely have more glitter in them than others. So I feel like these ones, like I said, are the least glittery out of all of them, but they are still awesome. So those would be the first that I would recommend. So the second step up from that would be their Ultra Glitters. I have mine in the shade Fluffy and Cheap Date. These ones are very similar to the metallic, except they do have a little bit more glitter to them. So this one in the shade Cheap Date is a nice gold with some silver glitters, and then Fluffy I actually have on my eyes today, but it's covered up by a loose glitter. But it is a deeper gold with some pink glitters in it. So I will swatch these guys as well. I find that these ones are very similar to the metallics, but they do have a bit more glitter. Again, it's nothing chunky or crazy or over the top. You're not going to get a ton of fallout. You're not going to get a ton of grittiness with these. They are a very smooth, creamy, pigmented shadow. They're right down here, but you do have more glitter in them than the metallics. And then the last formula I have from Colourpop, which this is the one, if you want glitter, you will get glitter. This is the Glitter Sheer formula. So mine is in the shade Paisley. I love this guy. I use it probably 80% of the time that I do eyeshadow. It is so, so, so beautiful. So their Glitter Sheer formula is literally that. It is a very, very sheer eyeshadow with a ton of glitter in it. So this one right here in the shade Paisley has like a slightly like cream white champagne background, and then a ton of multicolored glitter as well as gold glitter in there. It is just such a cool shade. I can take any eye look and pat this on, and instantly it makes it a little bit sparklier, a little bit extra, a little bit almost messier. You kind of get that like blown out glittery look, which I absolutely love. I love taking like a matte smoky eye and just patting this on my lid area. Just kind of gives that nice undone messy sort of look. Or if I have a metallic eye and I just feel like it's not doing it for me, I will take a little bit of this, just pat it over top. Don't even need any glitter glue or anything. It just instantly makes that metallic pop and shine. It's absolutely stunning and I love it. These are really, really nice in a pinch when you want some extra sparkliness, but you don't want to hassle with primer or liquid glitter or loose glitter or anything like that. Okay, so if you are someone who is really big into liquid eyeshadows, I highly recommend the Wet n Wild liquid Catsuit liquid eyeshadows. So these guys come in a variety of different finishes, but they have some really gorgeous glittery ones. I have the shades Goldilocks, Cashmere Love, and Pure Intention. So some of them are very, very metallic, almost like liquid metal-esque, but then some of them have actual chunky glitter in them. So just make sure you're looking at the color that you're getting before you buy it to make sure that it's one of the chunky glittery ones if that's what you're looking for. That's Goldilocks right there. It's like a green gold with some silver chunky glitters in there. Cashmere Love is a really interesting shade. It's like a brown taupe metallic with some like gold and silver glitters in there. It's very, very pretty. This looks gorgeous for smoky eyes. I love it. And the last one, which is Pure Intention. This is from their Gothographic collection, so I'm not sure if you can find this one much anymore because it was limited edition, but it is like a silvery, pinky, goldish shade. It's right there. This one is my least favorite out of all of them. I find that it can be a little bit sheer and a little bit patchy, but it is still beautiful. Cashmere Love is my favorite, and then Goldilocks is my second favorite. These do dry down very fast. You do have to work quickly. I recommend doing one eye at a time when you're using these guys, but they are so beautiful. You would never know that they are from Wet n Wild. Like, they're like $5. It's insane. They are so gorgeous, and they come in so many different fun shades, which is kind of different coming from the drugstore. Typically, you have a lot of neutrals, nudes, stuff like that, but you can find a ton of really, really, really cool, fun shades from this line. I love the applicator. It's like a nice flat doe foot, and you do get quite a bit of product in here, and I feel like it would take you a long time to go through one of these. Okay, so next let's talk about glitter liners. So these are probably the easiest way to get that chunky actual glitter effect on your eye without using loose glitters, which we will get into in a minute. So from the drugstore, there are two that I really like. The first one is the NYX Liquid Crystal, and the second one are the e.l.f. glitter liners. So I'll talk about the NYX one first. I have mine in the shade Crystal Silk. So this is a really pretty gold shade. It has a little bit of gold, has a little bit of silver, so it's not just pure gold. I love this for when I have that metallic eye look and I just kind of want to pat some of this on. You could use it, you know, for detail work if you want to put it like in your crease to do a cut crease. You could use it on the lower lash line in the inner corners. I really, really like glitter liners for doing small areas of your eye. They compare very nicely to the heavy metal liners from Urban Decay. And even though these aren't drugstore, I'm just going to mention them real quick because they are also one of my favorites. I find that the only difference between the Urban Decay ones and the NYX ones is that the NYX ones, the glitter is a little bit smaller, and the Urban Decay one, which is over here, has a little bit more chunky glitter. It's a little bit glitterier, if you know what I mean. So again, I feel like you can totally get away with the NYX ones. They are basically the same thing. The Urban Decay ones are just a little bit chunkier. And then if you are someone who wants a very, very subtle glittery look, but you still want that glitter liner, you like that application technique, I would check out the e.l.f. glitter liners. I have mine in the shade Seafoam and Shimmering Gold, and these have incredibly tiny glitters. They are so tiny, in fact, that you have to apply a lot to really build them up. But that's kind of what I like about them. I like using these when I just want a very subtle, shimmery, glittery eye look. Similar to what I would use the glitter shears from Colourpop for, but in a more liquid form. So there is Seafoam right there, which is kind of like a white blue-green duochrome. It's very pretty. Really is a seafoam color. And then Shimmering Gold is like a nice copper. I really like these guys. I like using these on top of eyeshadows, again, in the inner corners, lower lash line, all sorts of good stuff. I find that these are a really nice choice. And again, they're super cheap. They come in a bunch of different shades, and I like them. I like them a lot. So I actually have a palette to mention to you guys. So if you are into glittery shadows and you don't want a ton of metallic creaminess, you really just want the glitter, I would highly recommend the Golden State of Mind palette from Colourpop. This is my favorite glittery eyeshadow palette. I know there's a ton of people that really don't like these shadows, but it's because they want them to be something that they're not. These are sheer, glittery, chunky, gritty, rough type of shadows. They're not creamy, they're not metallic, they are pure glitteriness, and I absolutely love them. These are amazing for just patting on top of the eye when you just want that little extra something. This is what they look like. They're almost like a liquid eyeshadow of types, but in a powder form. There's one of the shades swatched, there's the other one, and then there's the last one over here. I find that these look absolutely beautiful on the eye, especially when you just tap them on. I do recommend using a glitter glue with these guys because I find that they do have a little bit of fallout, and they also do have sometimes a hard time sticking on the eyes because they aren't that creamy. There's not a lot of base pigment to them. There is just a lot of glitter. So I personally love that look. A lot of people don't, but if you're someone who wants a similar look to the glitter shears, but you want more options, I would recommend this palette. It's absolutely beautiful, and I really do like the shades in here. I find that they give you a beautiful, chunky, glittery, sparkly look. And then, of course, what would a glitter video be without actual loose glitters, right? So my favorite formula from the drugstore are the NYX glitters. These are just so good. I have a bunch of their face and body glitters, and then I have one of their metallic glitters. I don't find there's a big difference, although the metallic glitters come in some more like fun shades, and I find that the glitter is slightly finer milled, but for the most part, they're basically the same. Out of the glitters, I have Rose, Crystal, Bronze, and Ice. So Ice is like a white with a green-blue duochrome. Bronze is like a true gold that's a little bit dark. I also have Rose, that one's like a purpley pink, and then Crystal is a holographic glitter, which is absolutely amazing. So these guys are my go-tos whenever I want loose glitter. I find that they are just the right amount of chunkiness to where they're not too big, but they're not too tiny to where you really can't see them much and they just kind of look like a pigment. These are definitely glitters. They are not pigments, they are glitters, and they look absolutely stunning. If you're looking for colorful glitters, I highly recommend these as well. You can find a lot of really pretty blues, purples, pinks, stuff like that. And then the metallic glitters come in more like duochrome shades, and I find that the glitter is a little bit finer milled. It's still absolutely beautiful. I love this shade, which is Lumi Light. It's like a white base with a bluish green and also orange duochrome. It's a very interesting shade. It looks so unique on the eyes, like you almost can't even tell what you're wearing on your eyes when you're looking at this. It is so beautiful. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. It is very unique and absolutely gorgeous. And the last loose glitter and the last product I have to mention to you today is the J.Cat Rockin' the Night Sparkling Powder. This is what I have on my eyes today. This is in the shade Gatsby's Party, and this is one of their best sellers. I love this glitter so much. As you can see, it looks so beautiful on the eyes. It is the perfect gold. It's not too bronzy, it's not too yellow, it's not too silver. It's just absolutely stunning when you want a pure gold glitter, which is my personal favorite type of glitter. I love it so much. I do find that with this glitter, I tend to get quite messy with it. With this guy, you don't have a sifter, so that can be kind of messy. I do find that when I'm applying it, I have to do it before my foundation because I get a ton of glitter fallout. I like the packaging on the NYX ones better. However, they are a bit more expensive, so it just all depends. There are a ton of shades in these guys as well, so I would recommend checking out both of these. I don't know that they have these in store. I think they are only online at Ulta and then jcatbeauty.com. Whereas the NYX ones I know are in store because I have bought all of mine in store. I'm just looking at my hand right now in amazement, like all of this glitter on my hand. How lucky am I? This is like my favorite day ever. I'm just like looking at my hand like I don't want to wash you off. Like, can I get a tattoo of this? Would that be weird? Can you imagine if they did glitter tattoos? How cool would that be? Okay, I'm getting off on a tangent. So that is it for today's video, you guys. I hope you liked hearing about all my favorite drugstore glittery favorites. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye. It's delicious.